I want. Um, I think I need to talk about the devil. I don't even know what I want to say. I think this video is me trying to explore something, trying to like brainstorm. I need to get something out. And and the reason for it today is a child I'm working with. And I was told today that since he joined my group, he's doing worse. And I think I kind of knew that, but hearing that he looks like he's more strong, quiet, insecure, knowing that other people see it made it true. I guess maybe I wasn't really paying enough attention. Maybe I wasn't willing to admit the fact that it was true, but it is. And I'm trying to understand why, because most people who are around me, they enjoy life, but he doesn't. He really, well, when he came to me, he was more cheerful, talkative, maybe, and he left the group with another instructor, which was, she is very warm and loving, and they had an excellent relationship, and she really loved him. They had a good connection. Sometimes you just connect with a child, maybe because he reminds you of all that is good about yourself. Maybe he reminds you of something good that you know in your friends or something. Maybe he completes you in a certain way. Maybe he reflects you in a very positive way. There are many reasons why I find myself connecting to a child. And he doesn't have that with me. And I have that with other kids in my group. And all this time I was thinking that it's okay that he doesn't have it with me, because life isn't always about being your teacher's best friend, and he can still benefit a lot from what we do and how we are and the vibe in the group. And today I'm realizing that he lost something very, very important to him by transferring into my group, because that connection that he had with the other instructor, I think that was his validation of worth, I think, because it's not only the good vibes. We have good vibes, we have conversations, we have laughs and everything, but I think in some way she needed him, she valued him, because she really enjoyed him, so she gave him this feeling that he is worth something, that he really matters. And I can't give that to him because he's a great kid and I like him very much, but we don't have this connection, and I cannot fake it. It's not something you can fake. I can try and give him more attention and more projects and listen to him more, but it will never be the same value that he had with the other instructor. And I think that this is a place where the devil is, maybe. Because, why am I saying the devil? Because I see these things in many children. I see it. They're all children with a very, very difficult lives. They are being abused at their homes. They are being misunderstood by society, by other children. They have very low self-esteem. They have difficulties controlling themselves. They have problems with feeling achievement because they don't have much achievement. They just struggle every day. So for a child like that to feel that he is worth something, that he is precious to somebody, it's like a lifesaver. It's something that he doesn't get anywhere else. His parents, they are incapable of giving this to him. He's got like 5 brothers, and the situation at home is very problematic. And when he got this connection with the other instructor, I think he finally felt that he's worthy of a connection. And only by, I think, with a certain type of people who are at the edge of feeling worthless and helpless and angry and frustrated and extremely sad. They connect very deeply because they lack so much. And when this connection is like cut, I think it damages them very much, because they're not only losing somebody, they are losing themselves. They are losing the only point of view at themselves that looks good, and they're left with all the bad stuff. And I think that when I'm thinking about everything horrible that I've ever witnessed or heard of or read about, I think that's the basis of everything. This feeling of not being worth living, and being helpless to change it, being powerless to change it. And it just creates so much resentment, so much evil, so much momentum, even like a very, very strong force that just has, you just get very, very powerful with your hunger, I think. Like a cat, when you like threaten it a bit too much, it becomes really, really violent. Well, basically anybody that you threaten too much, they become extremely violent. And a person that this positive perspective of himself is being taken away from him becomes very powerful in his negative force. And I've been hearing from this child for quite some time very strange stories about the connection with his brothers, and how his older brother, he wakes him up at night and he forces him to watch TV with him. But he doesn't want to, but he cannot say that he doesn't want to because he's afraid that his older brother will stop liking him. So he goes to school very, very tired. and these stories, they started like, okay, just brothers having brother issues, and then they became these images of kind of like a horror film, because he's telling me that his brother pulled his leg in the middle of the night, and he remembers that his head twisted towards the back, and then he looked at his brother from his backside, and I don't even know what is creating these images in people besides horror films, but I know that horror films are based on something, because when I was younger, I had sleep paralysis, and the amazing thing about sleep paralysis is that the things that I saw when I was paralyzed were the most terrifying things in my life that I couldn't even imagine when I was awake. And I think the most scary thing about them was that they are surreal in some way, that they have such a strong, like they were designed to make me see the reality as something that I absolutely cannot trust. And to do that, I think my brain is kind of like figuring out what is the most safe thing for me, and then twists it so it will be the exact opposite of safe. And that is terrifying. Like, it doesn't have to be very bad. It can be just something completely normal that would usually make me feel at home and peaceful and nice, and then the brain would take it and would manipulate it to be the exact opposite in a way that makes me think that the world is extremely dangerous. It's like when somebody's when you see something scary, when somebody scares you, when somebody threatens you, when you see something that is dangerous, you can understand it. It's okay that it's dangerous. It's okay that this person is like the robber, or it's not like a bad dream exactly. It's just a twisted reality, and that is worse than anything scary. That is worse than anything dangerous. To see the same thing, the same room, the same people that I live with, but they are the opposite of what I would consider to be normal. And just like that, the horror of it is something that I've never felt. Not in my life, not in my bad dreams, nightmares, nothing. This ability of the brain to twist it around the most safe parts of my reality, just to make me feel completely helpless and like I don't really know. I don't really know why the brain does that. I don't know where it comes from. I'm certain that in other times, other cultures, that would be considered demons and a lot of mystical stuff, aliens, I don't know what, because it's worse than anything. It actually is. It's worse than violence and crime and anything that is in this reality, because it is your safest place being upside down. It's this feeling of surreal, and it just takes your everything that I believe that is everything everything I base my reality myself, and it just makes it invalid. I think that's the scariest part. The scariest part is the surreal. It's like when I was reading It by Stephen King. I remember that they have this part when they are grown-ups and they have to go back to the town where they defeated the monster, and they have to defeat it again. And as a grown-up, you just can't handle it because the horror of it is unreal. It's something that you just can't allow for the existence of this in your world and continue living. And all these bad stuff that I just said, I see it in this child in particular, in some other kids, in his brothers that are also going to the same school. And why is it that he was talking about his head being backwards? I have a feeling that it's based on the same thing, that you take something so normal, something you consider like you take for granted, something that is like the building blocks of your reality, and you twist it. And that's the worst. And this child is experiencing pretty much what I consider to be the worst thing in the world. And A, I have no idea how to help him. B, I have no idea how to explain this to people whose job it is to take care of these children psychologically, because that's not really my job, and I'm an instructor for like after school special program. It's not my job. And I don't know if the fact that I see this is helping or actually worsening the situation, because maybe a person that doesn't experience everything, all this, maybe somebody who is fresh and unaware would be a relief to that kind of child. And me being able to see what is going on is a certain kind of pressure for him. And I don't really know even anybody who I can talk to about this, because this kind of thinking is not, it's too complicated, it's too philosophical, and the people I work with, they are a bit more I think they are a bit healthier in the brain. I think they just didn't experience all these horrors, and they look at things very simply. Not simply, I mean, they're not idiots, but you cannot fight the devil if you don't even see the devil. And some people have never seen the devil when they grew up, and when they are faced with it, they just continue living, and they see it as a distraction. They see it as something that is wrong, and we should take care of this child because he's having a bad time, but they're not seeing the horror of this break and twist in reality. It's something that is very difficult to explain to people who haven't experienced it. And I'm really trying to figure out, I'm trying to remember the different steps that I had to take to deal with it, because when I experienced it, I needed a lot of healing to be back to reality. And I'm not even sure I'm like 100% in reality all the time. I think it's something that maybe when it happens to you once, you are always like one foot in hell or something, but I'm not afraid of that hell so much anymore. And why do I call it hell? I think that I've seen people do horrible things when they are in this situation, because when you are exposed to this level of destruction of your reality, it's very easy to lose morality. It's very easy to lose a structure which is the basis of your right and wrong. And then all you are left with is it good for me? Is it stressful? Is it painful, or is it alleviating my pain? And when a person is in that place, he is capable of doing very, very bad things, because whatever this is, it's alleviating the pain, it's making the pain more bearable. So even if it's bad, he has no real structure to call it bad. And I'm trying to remember how I built this structure, because I remember that there was a point in my life where I didn't have it. I was kind of experimenting very, very slightly, because I felt that it could go very bad. So I would try to lie and take things maybe when I was a child, and just to see how it makes me feel, to see if I feel bad. And I didn't. And I realized that I have to figure out for myself what I consider bad, because I don't feel bad when I'm doing bad things. And if I go this way, I can actually kill a person, because I don't feel bad. It's like when you get to this place when there are no structure, everything goes away, all the walls, the ceiling, the floor, everything just goes. There is nothing that is externally confining your morality, your action. And I needed to build it for myself. And I remember that I was when I was experimenting with this bad behavior, when I was trying to make myself feel bad, I did have the fear of punishment, but I knew that that could not be it, because sometimes you won't be punished. Sometimes you can do something really, really bad, and you're 100% sure that you will not be punished. So that can't be it. That cannot be the reason why I'm not doing something bad. So I was back to deciding it for myself, and I'm very empathic. So when I see pain in somebody else, I feel pain in myself. So I decided that this would be my indication of bad. And the problem with that is that sometimes you can do something bad and nobody actually feels anything that I can relate to and feel that it was bad to do. Like, if I insult somebody, then he feels bad and I feel bad because I feel what he feels, so I know that that was bad. That's an easy one. But sometimes you can steal something that nobody would miss. It's possible to visit your friend's house and just take a spoon, put it in your bag and go home with it. Nobody would feel anything. And if they ever miss the spoon, they won't really have a strong emotional reaction, and maybe they won't ever miss that spoon. So why is that bad? And I needed to decide for myself, why is that bad? And I decided that in order for me to have these boundaries, this structure that was destroyed, I need to see people with everything that they are connected to as a whole package, as like this sphere that is not me. And if I want this feeling of respect and love, I didn't call it love because love was a corny word, but I can call it love now. If I want to feel respect and love for this person, and it's my feelings, I'm taking care of my feelings, I want to feel respect and love for something, for somebody, then I have to keep this sphere whole. Because if I damage the sphere by taking something from it, then I will never be able to respect or love this person, this sphere around him, because I have corrupted it somehow. So that, I think, is the moral basis of my reality, is that I want to feel love and respect, so I try to keep these spheres of people and places and concepts and countries and homes and museums and whatever. I want to keep them whole because I want them to be whole for me. I want them to be beautiful and respectful and respected, and that's why I won't steal something from a museum, because by doing this I am corrupting the concept of this museum in my own mind. And when I had this structure, this moral structure, I think I was about, I don't know, maybe 16, 17 when I finished it, when I felt like I really had it, I can rely on it. I felt a big relief, and I remember that up to this point I was this very, very sad, quiet, kind of spooky kid, that I was dressing very strange. I was wearing very awkward clothes, and just when I had this realization, things started to change, and I was starting to dress differently. I began to smile. I dyed my hair blonde, and it's like when I went extreme. I was so happy. I was celebrating this new structure, this more moral structure that I believe, maybe till this day, that it is indestructible, that nothing can damage it, because I know exactly what it's made of. And even if I wake up and go to the living room and I see my mother sitting on the couch and her head is backwards, I have this structure, and that would keep me safe. I will know what to do. I will know how I would I know that my mom is a concept, is a sphere, and that sphere is indestructible as long as I don't destroy it, as long as I keep it safe for me. So nothing in my external reality can damage the spheres in my mind. So I will still love my sphere mom, even if she is horrible. I won't necessarily let her damage me in any way, but I can still feel the respect for the whole sphere. And I don't know if that is something I can give to that kid. I don't even know if it's... I don't feel that it's something I can transfer. Even now that I'm making this video, I'm trying to imagine somebody will sometime, I don't know, at some point will watch it, maybe by accident. And even if this person is able to relate with some of the things I said, I don't imagine that it would benefit anybody. And I'm sorry for wasting your time, but it would be great if it is. It would be great if something that I said is useful to somebody else. But basically I just made this video so I could process this issue that I had, and I am going to publish it because maybe somebody will watch it and will have help with something that he's dealing with. Maybe because I know that I was watching very weird videos on YouTube, and I'm very thankful for all the people that made them, because it helped me a lot. So I am publishing it, but I don't know what to do with this child. I don't know what to do with evil in general. I don't know what to do with the devil in all of us. I don't know what to do with my own devil that still exists, because this structure is constantly being threatened and challenged. And even though I am very safe in this structure, I know that I don't know everything. I know that before I had my initial structure demolished, I was quite certain that it was safe. So maybe my new structure that has served me for like 20 years, maybe that would also be demolished one day and I would have to find a new one. Maybe I will succeed, maybe I won't, maybe I'll lose my mind completely, which is possible because sometimes you see things that are too much. And I know that people can lose their mind. I know that some of the ways to deal with being exposed to something extremely destabilizing is just forgetting it. Really, just I know people that have just forgotten how bad life could be, and this is how they deal. And maybe I wish it for this kid. Maybe that's what he needs. Maybe that's what he needs me to be. Maybe he needs me to be so strong and unaware of the devil, so he can forget that the devil exists, and maybe that's his only way of healing. And I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can fake it. Maybe I can actually make myself forget. Maybe it would be the right thing to do in my healing process. Maybe that is the final step of the healing process, when you actually are willing to let go of it and forget that you've ever seen it. And I don't know.